Hello, hi guys. All right, we are back. We are going to be doing 9 R.I.P. I had a stream I was going to do last night. I ended up doing it because I forgot while watching One Piece. Ha 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 ha, Sign Ninja. But we're going to be playing 9 R.I.P. I only have a couple hours today because I have appointments in the afternoon, but hopefully we can get like 2 chapters done. That's my goal at least. I don't recall having a stream scheduled for tonight, but I might end up streaming tonight once I get home from Samurai Comics after we announce the comic books, just to kind of make up for it because I feel like I'm behind. I was trying really hard to get so caught up this week, because next week's going to be a little bit different because it's November. My job has a different kind of schedule than I usually have, so best streamer ever 10/10 content. You are so biased, and I appreciate that, but you are so biased. But we're gonna be starting Yukimaro's route, and it starts on chapter 5, so I don't know if that means they have 9 chapters. We're gonna find out. Somebody knows. It's just not me. Alright, we are here. Hello, Sleazy. Forgot to turn off alarms because I had alarms. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss any messages earlier. I have zero bias. I consume plenty of streaming content, and yours is the best ever. So biased. Just out the gates, redemptions of stretching and too many stretches, guys. Oh my god. First stretch. Second stretch. This is all happening again. We have a new redemption, but y'all crazy. I might not be able to watch the stream. Stupid ass Wi-Fi wants to be a pain in the ass, and I'm fucking pissed right now. Literally woke up to the Wi-Fi issue. I can't even watch my damn TV. Oh no, that's terrible. I've stretched for now 30-ish seconds. That counts. That counts. Y'all abusing it. I'll increase the price of stretch, guys. I haven't had a good night's sleep in ages. Today I was supposed to research my career path, but I wonder where we'd end up going. I kept thinking about it as I got ready. Once done, I headed down to the living room. Did you restart your router, Asia? I'm sure you did. That's what I always do. Once there, I saw Kureha in the kitchen preparing breakfast. I'm sorry, let me help.
Yeah, もう終わるからな。だから座って待ってろ。
No, I'm good. I'm almost finished. Go ahead and sit down. Imagine just having a spirit that makes you breakfast. I also have a couple sound bites I have not incorporated yet, that I've made. I also need to. I recorded all of Alan's saved messages from Cupid Parasite. I just haven't turned them into sound bites yet. So, feeling guilty, I did as I was told and sat down. I glanced over to see Yukimaro and Toka both engrossed in watching Tonodamaru. Koharu brought breakfast over to the table, and a delicious scent wafted through the living room.
今日も進路先を探すんだろう。家で調べたりするのか?
You're working on your career path today, right? Planning on researching from home? I made plans to go out with Yukimaro. He said something about our mission being to find my dream.
なんだそりゃ。あいつに任せて大丈夫なのか?
What the hell does that mean? Are you sure you can trust him? Probably not. Yukimaro is a delight, to say the least. I'd like to think he has a plan, but honestly, I couldn't tell at this point. I felt like things would work out in the end as long as I was with Yukimaro. For some odd reason, I always feel hopeful when talking to Yukimaro about my career path. I'm not sure why though.
ま、言いたいことはわかる。
I kind of get what you're saying. He's smiling. Koharu glanced at Yukimaro, who was still watching Tonodamaru. His gaze seemed filled with warmth, and that sparked something in me. Thinking back on it, you and Yukimaro were friends before all this, right? How long have you known him? Koharu's face seemed to twitch, his expression quickly turning to one of annoyance.
腐れ縁だ。
He's not a friend. I've just known him for a long time. Oh, really? So it's a coffee day. I have coffee. Always get butter pecan. Although I used to always get hazelnut, and then they took it away as a sweetened flavor, and Without like an extra hit of sweet in it, it's not the best, but I do sometimes add a shot of hazelnut with my butter pecan. Koharu didn't seem to like my assumption, but I didn't get the impression that he hated it. I still think those two get along at the end of the day. Koharu seemed to notice my gaze before shaking his head.
遠い昔あいつに会ってな。でっけえ木の上で鼻歌を歌ってるのがいたんだ。
I met him a long time ago. There once was this guy standing on top of a big tree humming loudly to himself. Was it Yukimaro?
ああ、耳障りだったから、うるせえぞ、下手くそって言ってやってな。
It was really annoying, so I yelled, "Shut up, you suck," at him. So they haven't changed a lot, huh? Yes, they've always been at odds.
その後、あいつが俺に言った言葉を今でもしっかり覚えてる。
I still remember what he said to me after that. Koharu seemed lost in memories as he watched Yukimaro. His gaze seemed so kind and warm. I felt my heart glow as I watched him, but Koharu's expression abruptly changed.
あいつはこう俺に返してきたんだ。ムー、神の歌声であるぞ。下手くそと言うなら、お主が歌ってみせろ。
It's the singing of a god. If you say I suck, then you try singing.
ああ、やはり遠慮する。顔からして下手そうじゃ。耳が持っていかれかねん。
Better not. Judging by your face, you're probably terrible at it. You might ruin my ears. I totally picture that. Wait, he called himself a god? I couldn't help but laugh, and then I quickly realized something. Wait, what did Koharu just say? I replayed his words in my head, and something jumped out to me. Wait, God? I was sure Koharu said God, and then Yukimaro claimed he was one.
僕を呼んだですか？呼んでくれたですか？
Yes, did someone call me? Did you? Did you? Toka, who has been watching Tamaru, came gliding over. I didn't mean you, Toka. I quickly waved him off, and Toka seemed rather shocked.
僕以外の神を呼んだなんて。
I can't believe you called for another god. I wasn't really calling for a god. Toka seemed so distraught he was unable to hear me. His shoulders slumped as he floated out of the room. I feel bad. But it didn't stop me from turning back to Koharu. What you just said, are you telling me Yukimaro is a god?
なんだ、あいつから聞いてなかったのか。仲いいもんだから知ってると思ってたぜ。
Oh, he didn't tell you? I thought you knew given how close you two are. This is the first time I'm hearing this. Is Yukimaro still a god? Oh, you understand the concept of not being gods anymore. Because Yukimaro has always claimed that he was a guardian spirit. In training, I assumed he was born as a spirit. It was a simple question, but Koharu looked unexpectedly uncomfortable.
続きは本人から聞くんだ。
You should ask him about it. Not me. Not my place. I open the can, you deal with the worms. Koharu quickly ended the conversation and headed back to the kitchen. I had no idea that Yukimaro was a god. Come to think of it. He seemed different from the guardian spirits I've heard about in stories. His kimono was lavish, which made all of it seem more believable. What? But he's currently a guardian spirit in training. Did Yukimaro quit being a god? Is that possible? I had so many questions, but Koharu simply sighed, shook his head, and handed me a bowl of rice.
お前になら話してくれるんじゃねえか？なんたって、Yukimaroのお気に入りなんだからよ。
I'm sure he'll open up to you. After all, you are his favorite. Am I? Favorite? Koharu knew Yukimaro for a long time and has just called me Yukimaro's favorite. That kind of makes me happy. I couldn't stop smiling from forming and quickly tried. Oh, I couldn't stop a smile from forming and quickly tried to cover it from my hand.
主様。
Aruji-sama, master. Just as I was thinking of him, he had leapt up from behind. He hugged me and I screamed.
なんじゃ、まだ食べ終わってなかったのか。
Are you not done eating? I was hoping we could head out now. Guess Tonodamaru is over. I managed to peel Yukimaro, who had wrapped his arms around me, off of me. I'm pretty sure this is bad for my heart. Please stop doing that. I spoke as calmly as I could, and Yukimaro pouted in response.
ああ、
良いではないか。主様と我の仲なのだぞ。
Why? It's just between you and me, Master.
お前な、あやかしと人間といえど男女ではあるんだぞ。
Are you serious? Just because you're a spirit and she's immortal doesn't mean you're not members of the opposite sex?
お前がそういう風に考えていないのはわかるが、こいつは年頃の女なんだから。
It's calling me
もっと配慮し
out.
ろ。
I get that you might not care about it, but she's coming of age. You should be more respectful.
我だってお年頃だもん。
I'm coming of age too. Coming of age? What do they mean? I wanted to ask the question, but Yukimaro was hurrying me to finish getting ready, so I rushed to finish my breakfast. After I finished eating, I hurried to clean up and got ready to head out. I'm heading out.
小春、留守を頼むぞ。
Koharu, take care of the house.
ちょっと待て。雪丸、そのままで行くつもりか？こいつの隣を歩くんなら人間に化けろ。
Hey, wait a minute. Yukimaro, don't tell me you're planning to go out like that. If you're walking with her, transform.
おお、そうじゃったそうじゃった。
Oh, yes, that's right. Yukimaro clapped his hands and immediately transformed into his uniform, clapping. Yeah. We'll be on our way then.
おう、雪丸をしっかりこき使ってこい。
Right, be sure to make good use of Yukimaro. I flashed Kohara a weary smile and left the house with Yukimaro. The sky was clear, the air was crisp. Yukimaro stretched out his arms as though feeling liberated.
良い天気で気持ちいいの。
The weather is
空が
nice.
綺麗じゃ。
Feels so good. The sky is beautiful.
どうして空は青いのだろうな。
Do you ever wonder why the sky is blue? Huh? Where did that come from? His sudden shift caught me off guard.
もう主様、知っておるか？
Hey, Master, do you know? Something to do with the dust found in the atmosphere and sunlight?
これは違うな。
No, that's not right. What was that?
いやいや、こちらのことだ。では、出発！
Nothing. Just talking to myself. Let's get going. But I was still explaining. I had no idea what was wrong. I was no expert in science, but I knew the basics. Puzzled, I watched as Yukimaro kept walking, then trotted after him. Leah! I heard a familiar voice from behind and turned to find Sayaka standing there in her uniform. You're in uniform. Are you heading to school?
大学の資料を見にね。
Just wanted to look up a few things for college. After the incident yesterday, I was glad to see she had found her way. She looked very happy.
こちらは雪丸さんでしたよね。
You're Yukimaro, right?
殿田丸の家族のさやか殿であったな。おはよう、良い天気じゃな。
That's right, and you're the Lord of Tonodamaru's family. Yes? Good morning. Lovely day, isn't it?
おはようございます。朝から元気ですね。これから二人でお出かけですか？
You could say that. Good morning. You two are up early, headed somewhere?
進路のことでな。
Yes, it's about her career path. I thought I could have Yukimaro help guide me through all of this. I hope we can both find our own path.
実はね、行きたい大学は絞ってあって。
I've actually narrowed down where I want to go. Well, already? We only got our new career path surveys yesterday.
興味があるところは前から見つけていてさ。って言っても、たまたまなんだけどね。
You see, I actually found a place I was interested in a little while ago by chance, really. Sayaka took her phone out of her pocket and showed it to me. The screen flashed with a website of a college occult club.
オカルト関連で調べ物していた時に見つけたんだけど、このサイトよくできていてさ。
Oh gosh, hiccups. I was looking up some things of occult and found this page. The website is really well done.
私もこういう風に研究してみたいなって憧れていたんだよね。
It kind of sparked an interest in me to do research like these people do. So this is this a college you're planning to pick?
サークルが目的で入学なんて馬鹿げてると思うけど。
I know it might seem silly to choose a college based on their clubs.
私が好きで学びたいものってこれしかないんだよね。
The only thing I really enjoy learning about is this. I knew better than anyone else just how much Sayaka loved the occult. It wasn't a bad idea for her to study it in college. It was very her. I actually think that suits you, Sayaka. It might be hard to convince your parents about it, though.
それはどうしようって思ってる。まあ、なんとかなるでしょ。
That's actually something I've been stressing about, but I guess I'll figure it out eventually. Sayaka's smile betrayed not even a hint of doubt. I feel like she's figured it all out. I'm sure you will, Sayaka, and I'm here to support you. I can't wait. Sayaka gave me a dry smile.
私も楽しみではあるんだけど、一人ぼっちの大学生活を想像するとね。
Although I'm excited, thinking about
すごく怖い。
navigating campus life alone still scares me.
でも、私には必要なことだし、いつかは通る道だから、頑張る。
I need to face it. Besides, I have to do it eventually, so I'll work hard now. Sayaka. Seeing her determination, I felt as though I was going to cry. Hey, Leah.
昨日は本当にごめんね。
I'm really sorry about yesterday.
あなたを聖銀大学に引っ張っていかないとって必死になっていて。
I was so desperate, thinking I had to drag you along with me to Seigen University, but all this time, I wasn't sure
あ
either.
のおまじないでやっと気づけた。こんなことまでして私は何をやってるんだろうって。
When I cast that spell, I really came to realize I asked myself what I wanted to achieve with all of this.
昨日あなたが来てくれて、お守りまで用意してくれて、それで目を覚ますことができた。
Thanks to you coming yesterday and giving me that lucky charm, I was able to wake
あ
up.
なたのおかげだよ。本当に
It's all because of
ありが
you.
とう。
Thank you so much. Sayaka had been apologizing nonstop since yesterday, and it was nice to finally see her smile as she thanked me for the charm. I just wanted to see her smile. She's so kind, so bright, and so positive. That was the Sayaka I knew. You're welcome. I hope you can attend the college you truly want to go to.
私もあなたを応援する。あ、そういえばあなたの方はどうなの？
Me too, and I support you too, Leah. How's your search going? I still haven't decided. Well, maybe I can ask Sayaka for advice. Yeah, let's ask Sayaka for advice. She is my best friend after all. I haven't figured it out yet, but you know me pretty well, Sayaka. What do you think would suit me? I asked for her honest opinion. I saw Sayaka cross her arms and think.
あなたに向いてるものか。何でも器用にこなすイメージなんだよね。
Something that
運
suits
動以
you.
外は。
You're good at pretty much anything except sports. She sure does know me. Yukimaro, who had been listening, quietly looked at me and softly whispered,
主様、それは己で決めてこそなのじゃ。
Master, this is something you should choose.
主様？
Master? Sayaka looked a bit put off by that. First off, asking someone what they think isn't taking that away. It's just... Not yet. I'm still trying to figure out what's right for me, but I'm sure I'll find something. I looked up at Yukimaro. He seemed a little bit surprised at first, but then smiled.
必ず見つかる。いや、見つけてみせよう。主様には我がついておるのだからな。
Yes, I'm sure you'll find something. No, we will find something. We'll find it together. After all, you have me, Master. As he spoke, Yukimaro proudly puffed out his chest.
主様？
Master, Sayaka looked a bit put off. Oh no, he's just been watching too much Tonodamaru. It's rubbing off on him. You know, like the character in Tomodadamu, he calls everyone Master. Yukimaro loves that show. It was a stretch, but to my surprise, Sayaka bought it.
ああ、そういえば家臣のキャラにいたっけ？
Oh, I remember that character.
ゆきまろさん、トノダマルが好きなんですね。私も小さい頃から大好きで、だからうちのワンコの名前も。
You sure do love it, Tonodamaru, huh? You sure do like Tomodadaru, huh, Yukimaro? I loved it growing up too. That's why my dog's name is...
ああ、それは本人から聞いておる。
Oh yeah, he told me.
Eh?
What?
さやか殿が母上に殿だまるじゃないと嫌だ どう言ったのであろう
You told your mom you wanted to name him Tonodamaru and you wouldn't accept any other name, right? Oh no, she's too stunned to speak. Oh, he actually we have to get going? I'll see you at school, okay? Sayaka just stood there looking confused. I pulled Yukamaro's arm and rushed us away from her. To stop embarrassing me in front of people. I pulled him along as we ran. If we've made it this far, we should be okay. I stopped to catch my breath and then glared at Yukimaro. Seriously, could you not act so weird? What do you mean he told you?
そのままである。殿だまるに昨日聞いたまで。我は動物の言葉がわかるのでな。
Exactly what it sounds like. I simply spoke to Tonodamaru. I can understand what animals are saying. You really do have incredible powers. Actually, it did seem like they were having a conversation yesterday. I figured he was just joking around, but he was actually talking to him.
まあ特殊かもしれん。他のあやかしにはできまいて。
I guess you could say it's incredible. Most other spirits can't do it. Other spirits can't do it then. It made him seem even more divine. He could read auras too. That doesn't seem like a normal skill either.
しかし、主様は走るのが遅いの。運動は違うか。
By the way, you are a slow runner, Master. Sports are all wrong for you as well. Hearing him say that made me wonder something. Hi, Jay. Hello. Before, when I was talking about this guy, he said that it wasn't right. Why?
主様が好きなものを気で探っておるのだ。母上に言うたであろう。
I'm trying to figure out what you like through your aura. Remember what I told your mother? Oh. Nom 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 nom. We do have a new redeem. It should be working. Actually, I didn't test it. I should have tested it before we started. What I'm interested in. He was trying to find my potential. That's why he was reading my aura in various situations. Guess I should have figured he was doing something like that.
主様もそういう未来を願ったと言うておったではないか。
You said so yourself,
学ぶ分
Master.
野を探すための今日なのだ。
That's what we're out to do today. We're going to find what interests you. You're right. Yukimaro always thinks about me first. More than that, he remembers what I told my mother. Yukimaro seemed to remember
大
everything.
学をいくら調べ、いくら資料を見ても、学ぶ分野しか書かれていないのなら、今の主様には無意味。
You can stare at college pamphlets all day, but if you don't know what you want to study, it's pointless.
主様に必要なのは、さまざまなものに触れ、疑問や興味を抱くこと。もっと学びたいという意欲が見つかるように。
Master, what you need right now is to experience life, question things, be curious, figure out what you want to figure out. I was at a loss for words. Yukimaro is absolutely right. All this time I've only done research on college majors and course content. I never even considered whether they were subjects or activities I actually wanted to pursue. Yukimaro seems to understand what I really need. The fact that Koharu called Yukimaro a god doesn't feel the least bit surprising anymore. Yukimaro, you're like a god. The words almost slipped out, but I stopped myself. I need to focus on myself right now. No worrying about Yukimaro. Yukimaro has been putting me first and helped me to figure out my career path. I can speak.
主様、大丈夫かの？
Master, are you okay? I just wish you would cut your hair. Or grow it out. Hello, I'm Yuki. It's nice to meet you, and I love Atome games too. Aw, I love Atome games as well. Thank you, Yuki. You've chatted before, right? Master, are you alright? I'm fine. Let's get going. Hahaha.
そうじゃな。
Almost called you a god to your face. Absolutely. As we set out, Yukimaro naturally took my
い
hand.
ざ、主様の自分探しへ。
Let's go to find your path. I want to know why Sayaka hasn't figured this out yet. She can't be the occult queen she claims to be if she hasn't figured out that suddenly your friend's hanging out with people that she's never hung out with before. It's kind of embarrassing when you shout it like
なん
that.
じゃ、良いではないか。気合が入ったであろう。
What's wrong with that? Aren't you pumped? Maybe you're right. It was still a little embarrassing with Yukimaro. Things just felt different. I'm happy to have someone to take my hand like this. Someone to help me find my path forward. Ooh, maybe, but I hope to enjoy this game with you. And so excited for the new Otome games next year. Yeah, next year is gonna be a lot. It's gonna be so much. There's so much coming out next year. We're gonna do a recap at the end of December. We always, well, always. It's gonna be our second year doing it, which I'm excited about. Just kind of an overview of what's to come in 2025 and a review of what we've played. With Yukimaro, I felt confident that I could find a life I truly wanted. The warmth of his hand was comforting. Overwhelmed with happiness, I gripped his hand tighter and Yukimaro glanced down at me.
R.I.P. 急にそのようにされると心が跳ねるではないか。
Master, if you do that, you're gonna make my heart skip a beat. And then she's like, I retract my hand entirely. Mine already did. You're such a dependable spirit, Yukimaro. Trying to hide my feelings from him seemed pointless. I shared exactly how I felt and suddenly Yukimaro just blinked silently back at me.
意味が分かって言っておるのではないな。
Do you realize what you're saying? No, you don't. You couldn't.
これは参った。天然物か。
Goodness, you nearly got me there. How can you be so oblivious? What do you mean? I asked for clarification, but Yukimaro remained silent. He only offered me a kind, reassuring smile. Come on, explain it to me. Yukimaro, explain it. Master's finally thinking about her future. No longer are her smiles fake, but truly ones from her heart. It's all going very well. This is good. Not only that, she's relying on me to help her find her path. I've been keeping an eye on Toka, and I've been trying to steer things in this direction, so it's only natural. I felt restless and looked down at my hand. She was gripping it firmly in hers. Unlike mine, her hand was pale and thin. I felt a squeeze in my heart. This is all her fault. Making me feel all these emotions. Making me feel emotions. Making me feel things. It was like a scene from an anime or a drama. I couldn't slow my beating heart.
主様、恨むぞ。
Well, this is a new stream. We haven't seen this one. Master, this is your fault. Huh? I tightened my grip on her hand a little more and she gasped as she looked up at me. Her cheeks seemed to flush pink. Yukimaro, that kind of hurts. She tried to let go of my hand, but I wasn't about to let her off that easily. Opportunities like these don't come often.
話してなるものか。
I refused to let go. Why? Then could you please at least hold my hand normally like this? I tried to pull Master's hand towards me, but she took my hand and gently rearranged our grip. She didn't hesitate and did it with such ease that made me incredibly happy.
もっとギュッとしてほしいのだ。さっきのように。
I want you to hold it tighter like you did earlier. I should have been content with this alone, but I wanted to feel the same joy as before. I couldn't help but ask for more. Like this? Master looked a little troubled, but gripping my hand tighter, once again, her cheeks turned pink. When you ask me to do it again, I start to feel embarrassed. Ah! Her grip was stronger than before, feeling like I might fall. I stood firm. It's because you look so adorable. I can't bear to let go of this hand. I was a guardian spirit's duty to ensure their master's happiness and guide them forward, but she seemed oblivious to my strife and simply walked on with our hands joined. I don't want these days to end. What should I do? For now, I must focus on Master's future. Regardless of the outcome, I'm determined to see her happy. How long will be streaming today? Just a couple hours. Unfortunately, I have appointments in the afternoon. And then I go to Samurai, but I might stream tonight because I didn't stream yesterday night, even though I'd planned to, because I got tired. I came home, I was like, I'll eat dinner and I'll start streaming, and then we watched like 6 episodes of One Piece, and I went, whoops. And then it was like 10 o'clock, and I needed to make sound bites. The Bridge Curse 2 movie is on Dailymation. I'll be watching it because I need more lore. Oh my gosh. But does the story connect to Bridge Curse 1? I'm still not certain about it. And then I didn't even realize I had Bridge Curse 1 in my wish list on Switch, but I do. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Should I buy it? Today we decided I might get a better idea of what I should do by exposing myself to a diverse range of people and things. With that decision made, we arrived at the nearby train station surrounded by various shops and activities. Apparently it's different universities. Oh, interesting. Are there a bridge? The third game might be another. Oh, wait, there's a third one coming? Wait, they've already announced it? What? No, the third one has to be about her continuing her adventure in the thing. It has to be. It ended on a cliffhanger. A sequel to the video game Bridge Curse 2's Extraction was released in Steam. Oh my god, you're I really did like the lore. I liked how they sprinkled it in. The Bridge Curse was a lot of fun. And I was scared the whole time, but I didn't die too many times. You have to keep it. I've died more than I've died in that game. And I still died quite a few times. I was watching a guy break down the lore. It's 3 rival universities competing. Oh. Seeing Leah die and revive. But that's interesting. But it ended on a cliffhanger. But I didn't watch the first or play the first one yet. So I don't know if that one ends on a cliffhanger too. But it definitely... She's going through a portal at the end of that game. Where's she going? There was a library and an officer with documents dating way back into Nari Migahama's history. Office, not officer. We searched through each place. Apparently you got the bad ending. Oh, well, since you looked it up, dude, I have to get all the collectibles to get the good ending. How did I? The good ending, a high surprise. She survived? She didn't die? She's not dead. She went through a portal. She's not dead. What do you mean she survived? She didn't die. The guard went to the portal instead. Did I have to collect all the collectibles to get that ending? We were close. I was only missing a few. I need a guide for that one, because that one I was missing like 5 things. Sorry, nothing really stands out to me. Despite having wandered through various places, nothing really seemed to make an impression. Not truly captured by interest, nor does anything seem appealing enough for me to want to delve further into it. I really thought changing my perspective on this would help. I was visibly disappointed and Yukimaro gave my shoulder a comforting tap. Don't worry, I didn't expect we'd find your future in just one day. Don't look so glum. But I'm not sure. It says because she was grabbed too many times. Maybe if you avoid getting grabbed too many times? I would have... At the end? Or like, overall? I am... Oh my gosh. Don't worry, I didn't expect we'd find your future in just one day. Don't look so glum. We need a walkthrough, yeah. Huh? Yukimaro seemed to have spotted something interesting and paused in the middle of the conversation. I just assumed it was all the collectibles, because I almost had them all. I was missing like 6, I think, between the 2 things. I followed his gaze to a vibrant poster of the shopping mall's wall. Oh my, that looks delicious. I see. It was a poster for a cafe that recently opened up in the shopping mall showcasing a variety of adorable parfaits. It's almost lunchtime and I'm starting to feel hungry. Yukimaro, it's time for lunch. How about we head back home? We weren't too far away, and after eating lunch at home, we could set out again. Despite my suggestion, Yukimaro remained captivated by the parfaits on the poster. He must be craving a parfait. I considered how much I had in my wallet. I still have some money left. Yukimaro had been such a great help to me, it felt only right to treat him. But if I'm gonna treat him, I'd prefer to take him somewhere I know is really good. I nudged Yukimaro back to reality with a tug of his sleeve. He turned to look at me. There's actually a place I recommended more than this. Let's go there. Are you sure? Finally, Yukimaro tore his gaze from the poster and quickly grabbed my hand. I am sure. He got so close, I instinctively took a step back. It's like he acts on nothing but instinct. How is he not embarrassed being so close? He's a guardian spirit in training. His only goal is to bring me joy. I'm so glad you're my master. It's just a parfait. It's not that big a deal. Stop trying to butter me up. I'm not, but seriously, are you sure about this? I don't have any mortal money. It's fine. I've been wanting to treat you to something anyways. You've been such a big help. I honestly told him how I felt, and Yukimaro suddenly started to quiver. What's the matter? You would do such a thing? For me? It seemed my words deeply affected him. He's so sincere. I really love that about him. But that's not like a romantic love, right? Right? Master, what's the matter? Your aura is all over the place. Nothing. Let's just get going. I pulled Yukimaro's hand and decided to take him to my favorite cafe. Blush. We took a seat by the window and ordered 2 of the parfaits Yukimaro had his eyes on. The parfaits here were always affordable but very delicious and beautifully crafted. If I'm going to treat him to something, I want it to be really good. After about 10 minutes, our eagerly awaited parfaits arrived, delighting both Yukimaro and me. Enjoy! The parfait was overflowing with vibrant ruby red strawberries and generously topped with freshly made whipped cream. It was my favorite dessert, and I was sure Yukimaro would love it too. Seeing the colorful parfait before him, Yukimaro's eyes sparkled as he firmly grasped his spoon with trembling hands. Wow, look at these colors. It's incredible. I never imagined I'd get to enjoy something this beautiful. Are you really that impressed by it? How could I not be impressed by it? I will remember this day forever. With that declaration of joy, Yukimaro returned to gazing at his parfait. Look at this mountain of cream. It's like a winter wonderland. I can't contain my excitement. I don't know what to do about it. What was that? Yukimaro's over-the-top reaction to the parfait made me chuckle, but I could see his enthusiasm was genuine, and there's ice cream inside. It's gonna melt, so why don't we dig in? Yeah, let's eat it. Yukimaro nodded with gusto and plunged his spoon into the parfait. He meticulously scooped up the whipped cream and savored it with an air of elegance. I mirrored him, taking a spoonful for myself. This is happiness, so good. He has a very interesting concept. It's as though little sweet cream fairies are dancing along inside my mouth. I never thought I'd know such joy. I, a guardian spirit tasked to bring joy to humanity, sit in awe of you, Mr. Parfait. Is this some kind of food review? His commentary was so enthusiastic he could make a food critic blush. I relished bite after bite, his bliss unmistakable. The couple next to us began to notice and started whispering. Concerned we might be causing a disturbance, I tensed as they summoned the server. Excuse me, could we have that same parfait, the exact one? I guess watching someone enjoy their meal so much makes you want the same thing. Yukimaro, oblivious to the couple's order, continued to savoring his dessert. I found it so amusing that I started to laugh. Why are you laughing? Because it's so funny. It's never boring when I'm with you, Yukimaro. I don't get what's happening, but as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Yukimaro continued to enjoy his parfait, his comments as plentiful as the whipped cream. Feeling a bit embarrassed by his enthusiasm, I hurried to finish my own parfait. I finished paying and we both stepped outside. Yukimaro looked at me and bowed deeply. Thank you very, very much. We're gone. You're very, very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it so much. Seeing him so happy made me happy too. I couldn't stop the smile forming on my lips. Yukimaro clasped his hands over his chest, his eyes shimmering as he did so. You're amazing, Leah. I love you so much. Yukimaro tried to hug me, but I dodged just as he rushed closer. You're tough to catch. Because Yukimaro might not think much of it, but it was different for me. When he got so close, I felt shy and I couldn't help but get wrapped up in that feeling. He said he loved me and he used my name. I realized he probably doesn't know what that means to me. I shouldn't read too much into it because Yukimaro only said that because I treated him to a parfait. Things felt strange since last night. I'd become so aware of Yukimaro. I wonder if that means my feelings for Yukimaro are changing. I can't think of him that way. Knowing that someday we'll have to say goodbye, as I mulled over these thoughts, Yukimaro's expression suddenly shifted. Master, that aura you're admitting, are you falling for me? Huh? Oh, that's right, he can read my aura. No, you can't. Please, you shouldn't do that. Don't read my aura. No need to act so tough, Leah. His smile wasn't innocent. It looked like he had something else to say, and that annoyed me. Am I really the only one feeling stressed out of place? Don't touch me or call me by my name anymore. When I said that, Yukimaro looked so shocked he nearly stumbled backwards. His voice got so quiet, which means he was probably so loud. They were like, we can't keep that. What? Why not? You allowed it for both Koharu and Toka. I haven't told them it's okay either. They just do it on their own. And more to the point, I don't feel anything when they do it. It's because it's you, Yukimaro. I can't handle it. Then I can do as I please too. Nope, I said no to only you. Only me? I'm gonna touch you and call you by your name. I don't care what you say. What's all this commotion about? I love his outfit. Like, his everyday look looks great on him. I turned in a panic to see Koharu dressed in his Western clothes. Because Leah, her! Yukimaro pouted and complained like a child. I hurried to intervene. It's nothing. We were just disagreeing about something. Unlike Yukimaro, who was making a fuss, Koharu seemed uninterested as he turned to me. Whatever. Leah, did you get enough to eat for lunch? Did he call you Leah? Did he just use your name? Yukimaro, quiet down. Did you say quiet down? It's shut up. Urusai is shut up, not quiet down. As for lunch, Koharu, it wasn't really a meal, but I did eat. What the heck? You better eat a balanced meal or you won't be able to focus. Koharu patted my head as he said that. Koharu, you can't touch her like that.
は？何言ってやがる。いつもしてるだろうが。
What the hell are you talking about? I always do this, don't I, Leah? Although I didn't want to respond, I nodded yes. That sent Yukimaro into an even deeper frenzy, and he crumbled to the floor. This isn't what I wanted.
なんだ？このジメジメしたカビみてえなのは。
What's with this doom and gloom piece of junk?
とりあえず、一旦家に帰るぞ。
Let's head home,
昼
I'll make
飯
you
を作っ
lunch.
てやる。
He's gonna feed me! Koharu! Hi! Okay, thanks. Yukimaro, let's head home. I called out to him, but he merely pouted, looking away, and stood up. Seeing him like this pained my heart. This is all my fault. I knew I had hurt him, but I couldn't compromise on some things. I didn't want him to read my aura, especially when he could see my feelings towards him. And so without resolving much of anything, we headed home. The end. Upon our return, Koharu began preparing lunch. I offered to help, but he insisted he enjoyed cooking and preferred to do it himself. Koharu's cooking was always delicious, so I was glad he was making lunch, but for some reason I felt guilty about it. I wish I could at least do something to help. I took out the plates and glanced over to find Yukimaro sitting on the sofa. He stared at the TV, lost in thought. It's like his soul is gone.
ありゃダメだな。仕方ねえ。午後からは俺が付き合ってやる。
It's hopeless. Fine, I'll go with you in the afternoon. Koharu, having noticed Yukimaro's pathetic state, offered his support. Suddenly, from out of nowhere, Toka appeared. Me too! I want to help too. While it was generous of them to offer, it wasn't really in the mood to go out with all of them. Thank you both, I really appreciate that. I glanced at Yukimaro again, but he seemed oblivious to our conversation. Normally, Yukimaro would have jumped in and declared, "That's my role." I sighed lightly and felt kind of lonely. I was the one who started the argument, so I felt wrong to have this kind of feeling.
遠慮するのはダメですよ。僕はあなたを手伝える時が来るのを待っていたです。
No point in holding back.
ゆきまろさんとは何をしていたです？
I've been waiting for a chance to help you. Hey, what's up with Yukimaro? I really don't want to go with them. Despite my thoughts, I didn't want to dismiss Toka's offer of help either. I explained how Yukimaro was helping me discover what I liked. Start playing my own games. Do you have a fun stream? Have a great day. You too, Sleazy. I explained how Yukimaro was helping me discover what I liked. The two of them suggested we try visiting another location in the afternoon. I felt guilty and couldn't stop thinking of Yukimaro. In the afternoon, we visited various places around town. The sun had set by the time we returned. Toka was summoned away by someone, so he had to leave midway. As I walked beside Koharu, I said,
ここにあらずって感じだったな。
Kinda seems like your heart wasn't in it. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you came out to help me.
別に謝らなくてもいい。お前の進路のことは俺もトーカも気になっていたからな。
No need to apologize. Your career path is something both Toka and I are also concerned about. I was deeply grateful for the sentiment. What am I doing? Letting myself get so wrapped up in this personal drama. I felt so bad that I couldn't look at him in the eye.
が原因なんだろ。何があったか知らねえが、あいつがああまでなるのは珍しいぞ。
It's because of Yukimaro, right? I don't know what happened, but it's rare to see him so down. Yukimaro was always smiling and full of energy. I'd never seen him so quiet. Seeing him in a daze like that was unusual. It was a first for me. What should I do? As I thought through all of this, I saw my sister at the crosswalk. Leah, your sister's off work. Hi, how was your day? You're off early. What's up? Finally, the new display at work is complete. I've been doing late nights for a while, so I decided to leave early today. I didn't notice Sis had been coming home I did notice Sis was coming home really late these past few weeks. And who is this? Oh, this is Koharu. We recently met.
男の知り合いね。
Oh boy. A Yoja. My sister stared him down, making even Koharu flinch.
どうも。
Hi.
この子の姉の翼です。それで妹とはどこでどうやって知り合ったんですか？
Got really scared and thought it was saying I just had an announcement. I'm her sister Tsubasa. How did you meet my sister? Before she gets the wrong idea, I need to find a way to play this off. He showed me around at an open college campus tour.
で、今日はどうして？
Satsu, what are you doing here now? That's Tsubasa for you. Unlike Sayaka, who casually accepted anything my sister wanted all the details. I was about to elaborate when Koharu
彼
interrupted.
女の進路のことです。
It's about her career path. Huh? I looked up Koharu. Does he look like this in real life? Does he have like a tattoo over his eyeball? Is no one questioning that? I looked up at
今日
Koharu.
は相談に乗っていたんです。どこにするか考えあぐねていると聞いたもので。
I was monitoring her today. She mentioned she was still trying to figure out which school she wants to attend.
でもまあ、彼女なら進む道を定められると思っています。
In all honesty, though, knowing her, I'm sure she'll be able to figure it out. Koharu! He didn't just play it off or lie. He was serious as he met my sister's gaze. I felt deeply grateful for him.
そうでしたか。妹がお世話になりました。これからも相談に乗ってやってください。
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for mentoring my sister. And please, I hope you'll continue to
あ
do
なた
so.
のような人がいてよかった。
I'm glad she has someone like you by her side. Man, I've never met before. Sis, they want what was best for me. Their sentiments warmed my heart.
はい。それじゃあ、俺はこれで。
Well, I'll be on my way now. Thank you for today. As I saw Koharu off, my sister looked on, appearing content.
なるほどね。
I see.
小春さんだったか。
Koharu, was it? Huh?
ほら、前に母さんと喧嘩して、あんたが家を飛び出した時。
Remember when you fought with mom and ran
あ
away?
んた、さやかじゃない人に話を聞いてもらったって言ってただろ？
You told me you confided in someone besides Sayaka, remember? Oh. But honestly, yeah, Come to think of it, she's right.
あの人がそうなんだろ？
He's the guy, right? Yes, him and one other person, Yukimaro.
そっか。どんな人なんだろうなって気になってたから、会えてよかったよ。
I see. I was curious about who you could confide in. Glad it was able to
小
meet
春
him.
さんなら大丈夫そうだな。まだ挨拶程度だからわからないけどさ。
But Haru seems like a good guy. I mean, I've only met him once, so it's hard to be for sure. Yeah, he and the other person are both very dependable. Hearing that, my sister gave a warm smile. I don't have to bear everything alone. I have so many people ready to support me. Koharu, Toka, and Yukimaro. Yukimaro, I wonder if he's feeling better now. Probably not. I realized that merely giving him space wouldn't be enough for him to forgive me. It wasn't that simple. When I get home, I need to apologize. I didn't want things to stay awkward between us. I need to adjust my attitude. I should try not to see him in a romantic way. It would be tough, but I figured it would be okay since my feelings for him were so new. Whether my feelings for him were romantic or not, I couldn't tell, but I felt like it might have been starting to fall for him. What's so wrong with the little secret crush? With that, I returned home with my sister. You know, as one does. Since mom came home early that day, we all... Do I have my cat backwards like a fool? We all got to enjoy a meal together. After getting home, I was concerned about Yukimaro and looked for him, but he was nowhere to be found. I wonder where he went. I was anxious. Something might have happened. After dinner, I decided to search for Yukimaro outside.
そうだ、さっき言い忘れてた。出来上がったディスプレイ見に来いよ。進路決めの休憩がてらにさ。
Oh, right, I forgot to mention. I want you to come by and check out my display. It might be nice
いいだろ、
distraction.
母さん。
What do you think, Mom? Oh, the last time this topic came up, she...
ちょっと翼。
Back then, she had scolded my sister and looked so angry. I fearfully stole a glance at Mom, but instead of being mad, she offered us a sad smile.
ええ、いいんじゃないかしら。あまり根を詰めても仕方ないのだしね。
Sounds like a good idea. It's not good to stress so much, right? A pang of guilt hit my heart. But according to both Toka and Yukimaro's mom is...
昨夜と先ほどの母上の表情。あれはあなたの思っているようなものではない。
Your mom's expression last night, not what it seems.
目に見えるものが全てではない。
Appearances don't tell the whole story.
母上のこと、相手を。
What's really going through mom's mind? Is she sad? Is she not? I need to figure this out. Hey mom, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. I decided to press on even though I was nervous. It's about my career path. Are you really okay with me deciding for myself? Mom's expression turned sorrowful as she pondered, searching for the right
あな
words.
た自身で自由に決めてほしい。信じてもらえないかもしれないけれど、今は心からそう思っているわ。
I want you to freely make your own decisions. You might not believe me, but that's truly all I want for you.
私はあなたが自分のことを考える時間を奪ってしまった。あなたのことを
I took away your chance to think for yourself. I stole that precious time from you. I manipulated you. Mom. She sighed deeply, seemingly coming to a decision, and then turned to look at both me and my sister.
実はね、お父さんに叱られてしまったの。こんなこと言っても信じてくれないだろうけれど。
You see, your father was quite upset with me. I know you won't believe me if I told you,
お
but
父さんがね、夢枕に立ったのよ。
he appeared to me in a dream.
夢枕って父さんが会いに来たってこと？
What do you mean? He came to visit you? Seeing my mother nod, both my sister and I were at a loss for words. Before I wouldn't have believed it, but now, given everything I've seen, I totally believe her. After all, I too had interacted with spirits and
お
gods.
父さんにね、こう言われたの。あの子の好きにさせてやりなさいって。
He told me let the girl do as she likes. Dad, hearing her say this, I said a silent prayer. Thank you, Dad. I really are watching over me, aren't you?
私、そういう話は信じてないんだよね。幽霊とか心霊現象とかさ。
I don't believe in this kind of stuff. Ghosts, poltergeists, all that stuff, but
母さんの話は信じられる。
I believe you, Mom. She said that with a big smile. Me too. I believe you too. Mom seemed relieved to hear us say that, offering us a small smile in return. I realized it must have taken her a bit of courage to share that with us.
二人ともお母さんに付き合わせてしまって辛かったわよね。本当にごめんなさい。
Leah and you too, Tsubasa. I'm sure it was tough for you guys to deal with me. I'm truly sorry. Her smile was melancholic, and I suddenly felt like I understood everything. Mom looked sad because she felt
っ
guilty.
て言われても、私は我が道を進めてるし。
Yeah, you say that, but it's a little late already. I already chosen my path, you know? Trying to lighten the mood, my sister spoke with her usual cheerful smile, making us all laugh.
あとはあんただね。今日も進路の相談に乗ってもらってたみたいだけど。ほら、さっきの小春さん。
Now it's your turn. Seems like you've been confiding in someone today too, that Koharu guy from earlier. That's... oh right, but it was not just
あ
Koharu.
ら、雪丸さんに相談しているんじゃなかったかしら？
I thought you were talking to a boy named Yukimaro. Yeah, both of them are helping me.
雪丸。そっちはまだ会ったことないな。
Yukimaro? I haven't met him. Have you, Mom?
ええ、あるわ。雪丸さんはこの子のことをとても考えてくれている人よ。
I have. Yukimaro's done quite a lot to help Leah.
そうなのか。でも小春さんも親身になって相談に乗ってくれてる感じがしてさ。
Seems like Koharu's done a lot
て
too.
か、小春さんって何気にいい男だったよな。たくましくて包容力がありそうっていうの？
By the way, Koharu's pretty hot, isn't he? He seems so masculine and very patient. What? Why were you checking him out?
そりゃそうだろうが。妹のそばにいる男なんだぞ。もしかしたら関係が進むかもしれないじゃん。
Duh, there's a guy hanging around my little sister. I want to know about him. Who knows? You guys might end up dating. That will never happen with Koharu.
まったく翼ったら進路の相談に乗ってくれている方よ。いい男なのは関係ないでしょ。
Oh gosh, Tsubasa. He's just someone who's there to mentor her. Doesn't matter whether he is handsome or not. At least mom gets it.
でもどんな方なのか親として気になることだし、一度お母さんにも会わせなさい。
I also am curious about who you're friends with. Introduce me to him sometime. Mom! Just when I finished yelling.
みんな小春がいいのか。
Seriously, everyone just loves Koharu, don't they? When did Yukimaro get back? Yukimaro in his spirit form screamed out loud and then ran out of the living room. Seriously, he just came home too. I told mom and sis that I needed to make an important phone call and ran out of the house. Yukimaro had already managed to run ahead, yet somehow I managed to keep up. I nearly lost sight of him multiple times, but I desperately continued. Eventually, I caught up to him. Yukimaro was sitting on the stairs and let out a long sigh. Yukimaro. I called out to him, making him jump, but he didn't look my way. Feeling a pang in my heart, I silently sat down next to him. You're still mad at me?
怒ってなどいないのだ。ただ、主様がわからぬので混乱しておる。
I'm not mad. It's just, I don't understand you, Master. Plus, I'm just confused. This is all my fault. Knowing I was the source of his confusion, I realized I needed to explain things to him. But I hesitated, wondering if I should be honest. No, I have to tell him, or he wouldn't understand. I made up my mind to tell him the truth. When you came to me, call me by my name, it stirs something in my heart. I mean, you usually call me Master. Yukimaro's head tilted curiously, and I shyly met his gaze.
どちらがいいのだ。主様なのか。それとも。
Which one do you prefer, Master or Leah? Which do I prefer? I hadn't given it much thought. Master would keep things between us the same. Being called by my name made me flustered. It was a peculiar feeling, unsettling yet sweet. But even so, I replied, albeit softly. Maybe I think I'd like if you call me by my name. This is so embarrassing. Unable to meet Yukimaro's eyes, I looked down, acknowledging that only made me realize just how much I cared about him. How's he going to take this? I dared to look up at him. His cheeks seemed a little bit pink, do they? He's so pale. I immediately looked away, my heartbeat thundering in my ears. I just decided I would try to keep this from him. If I look at him now, I'll get my hopes up.
それなら名前で呼ばせてもらうのだ。
In that case, I'll just call you Leah. Yukimaro smiled, appearing bashful. Seeing his smile made my heart tighten. I noticed him reaching out a hand towards me, and he gently patted my head, stroking my hair. It was such a simple gesture, yet I reacted strongly, my shoulders jolting. I could only imagine how red my face
それ
was.
くらいの触れ合いなら良いであろう。
It's okay for me to touch you like this, right? I'm not gonna get in trouble, am I? It was the first time he had ever asked, the first time he had ever considered my feelings like this. It shows me how much he cared for me. That alone made my heart beat faster. I timidly nodded and Yukimaro's face relaxed, looking
我
relieved.
はそなたにくっつくたび胸がポカポカするのじゃ。
Every time I get to touch you, I feel like it warms my
日だ
heart.
まりのように暖かく優しい空気をまとっておるからだろうか。
Warm like sunshine. Perhaps it's because of your kind aura you're wrapped up in. He met my gaze directly, his eyes filled with kindness. Didn't save it yet. I feel surprised around you. You always do things so sudden. Oh. I swear I'm not faster than the buttons. I swear. I feel uneasy about it. I just can't help getting nervous around you. Opening up about my feelings caused Yukimaro's hand to freeze. Oh.
それは良い意味でなのか。
Is that in a good way? Well, I racked my brain searching for the right words, but in the end I could only find the truth. I guess I think I'm starting to have feelings for you. Yukimaro seemed caught off guard by my admission, his expression shifting from surprise to a troubled smile.
なるほど。我もそうらしい。
I see. That makes two of us then. What? Does that mean he feels the same way? Yukimaro didn't seem to mind me being lost in thought as he moved to sit one step above me. What? Where? How? Being gently hugged from behind, my heart raced. His arms easily wrapped around me, heightening my awareness of him as a man. I felt so overwhelmed I thought I might faint, but I couldn't bring myself to push him away. Yukimaro, you're laughing too much. While I was tense, Yukimaro laughed joyfully. That eased my anxiety.
嬉しくて仕方ないのじゃ。ようやくそなたとこうしていられてな。
I'm so happy I can't contain it.
永遠に感じたのだぞ。
Being like this with you after feeling separated for what seemed like an eternity, you're exaggerating. Though I dismissed him, I shared his feelings. His absence made me uneasy and lonely, which was why this moment brought so much joy. His presence was also always uplifting, and I loved him. I loved how honest he was about his feelings with me. Maybe I really do like Yukimaro.
気持ちをもっと隠した方が良いのか?
Would you prefer I hide my feelings more like Koharu does? Huh? Koharu?
そなたもだが、姉上も母上も小春を大層気に入っている様子だったからの。
Not just you, but your sister and mother seem to like Koharu a great deal. I can't allow myself to lose to him. I guess what he heard in the living room before really bothered him. You don't have to worry about Koharu at all. It's hard to explain, but because it's you, my feelings, I get all mixed up. While Koharu was important to me as someone who supports me, the feeling was different. I'm just not good at explaining this. I wish I could better express to Yukimaro how I felt about him. As I was struggling to find the right words, Yukimaro started laughing.
なるほど。我だから胸がざわめくということじゃな。
I see, your heart feels all these emotions about me. That's why it's so difficult. Can you not say it like that? Please stop.
そなたはわがままじゃの。だが、そうしてくれた方がいい。
And then, like, there's people just watching her talk to herself in the distance right now. You're so selfish, but I'm glad you're expressing
これ
yourself.
からは隠さずに見せてくれ。そなたの感情や気持ちがどんなものであれ、我は受け止めよう。
From now on, don't hide your feelings from me. No matter what your emotions or feelings are, I will accept them.
昼間
Yukimaro.
のようなことはもうこりごりじゃ。そなたとはこうしていたいからの。
I don't want things to be like they were earlier today ever again. I want things to be like this. I feel the same way. I know we're going to part ways someday, but that's why I hesitated to express myself. At least that's how I felt before. I want to accept Yukimaro's
約
offer.
束をくれぬか。我の前では
You
素
promise
直で
something?
いると。
I want you to always be honest with me. As I heard his request, my wavering feelings began to solidify. I promise. Yukimaro's grip tightened and he pulled me in even closer. I didn't know how much longer we would have together, but at least we had these moments. We continued our embrace, confirming our feelings for each other under the starry night sky. On our way home, I hoped for some privacy with her, but Leah's mother was concerned and called, so we had no choice but to head back. Walking towards her house, I glanced at Leah's hands. I want to hold it. I began to fidget, feeling an overwhelming urge to take her hand, but I hesitated knowing Leah might scold me if I was too forward with her. I didn't want to repeat my earlier experience. The thought of being separated from her again filled me with dread. It was a loneliness so profound, it felt like a gaping hole in my heart. Before I didn't think twice before touching her, Leah. Now with my feelings changing, it was complicated. Love sure is a peculiar thing. The most baffling and heart-wrenching of all phenomenons to exist in this world.
胸が痛い。
My heart's aching. I murmured as Leah stopped, worried. What's wrong? Are you okay? Leah's concerned about me. How adorable is that? I craved her caring gaze once more.
手をつないでくれれば治るのだが。
I'd feel better if we held hands. Leah blushed, her eyes shifting away. Maybe that was too forward. Her hand grasped mine tightly. My spirit lifted to the heavens. Like this? Her touch warmed my heart instantly.
すっかり気分が晴れたようだ。
Yes, I feel much better now. We both laughed, sharing a moment of joy. This warmth, this comfort, if only it could last forever. I found myself wishing to stay in this gentle light forever. The real question is there 8 or is there 9 chapters? Question I have to ask myself. Returned back home, I sat back down at the dinner table and reflected on my conversation with Yukimaro. I'm glad we made up. I reminisced about our time at the beach. I felt a little embarrassed, but more than anything, I felt happy. Opening up to him had brought me joy. But can I really continue to be honest with him? I felt shy and wondered if I really would be able to stay honest with him. I wonder where Yukimaro went. Before we arrived home, Yukimaro mentioned that he had something to do and ran off somewhere. I'm sure he'll be back soon. I'll take a bath before I finish eating. After I finish eating. After my bath, I went back to my room and began preparing for school the next day. I heard a knock at my door. 1 second. I opened the door and saw Yukimaro there. I smiled brightly.
ちょっと良いかの。
Leah, may I have a moment? Yukimaro looked troubled, causing my smile to tighten. Yeah, of course, come in. I let Yukimaro into my room and waited for him to speak.
実はさっきまで今日のことをいろいろ考えていたのだが、気になったことがあっての。
You see, after reflecting on today, something stood out to me. Yukimaro paused, gathering his courage before
昼
continuing.
間はあのようなことがあって伝えられずにいたのだが、
Because of everything that happened, I couldn't mention this to you
そ
before.
なたは甘いものに関することで良い気を放っておったのだ。
When we talked about desserts earlier, you had a really positive aura. A positive aura. I tilted my head puzzled. He did say he was going to watch my aura to find out what interested me. It's true, I love desserts, but they make me really happy, but especially the parfait at the cafe, it makes sense that I would have a good aura then. Do you think desserts might have something to do with what I should do?
その通りじゃ。あのような気を放つそなたを見たのは初めてだったのでな。
I do. It's the first time I saw you emit such a happy aura. I see. If Yukimaro feels so strongly about it, maybe I should
我
trust
は
him.
思ったのだ。もしやそなたは
It made me wonder, Leah, maybe you're... Yukimaro looked so earnest, then I tensed
フ
waiting.
ードファイターへの道が良いのかもしれん。
Maybe you should be a competitive eater. Excuse me? Is he joking? His expression looks so serious.
これ、テレビでやってるだろう。ガツガツと気持ちよいほどに食べる競技じゃ。
Like those competitions on TV where people eat a lot? I know what you're talking about, but I don't see myself doing that. I mean, I like sweets as much as the next person, but it's not like I could eat that much. There's no way I'm becoming a competitive eater.
ふむ、違ったかの。
Was I wrong? Yukimaro seemed disappointed. I don't really love that he picked that career for me, but suddenly all my tension dissipated. I appreciate Yukimaro thinking about my future so seriously, but come on, a competitive eater? The idea grew funnier and more the more I thought about it. I was struggling to hold back laughter when Koharu and Toka suddenly showed up.
フードファイターってお前な。
Competitive eater? Seriously?
未だ見習いなのがようやく分かったです。雪丸さん、ちょっとずれてるですね。
I think I know what We know why you're still in training, Yukimaro. That's way off.
甘いもの好きってのからどうしてそうなるんだよ。普通に考えたらパティシエとかだろ。
Why would you get that conclusion just because she likes desserts? Normally, wouldn't you go with something like a pastry chef? Pastry chef.
我だって真剣に考えたんだもん。
I seriously considered everything. Yukimaro pouted, visibly upset, but Koharu remained unfazed by his reaction. A pastry chef. I do love sweets. They're my little moment of peace. Whenever I sit down with a nice little dessert, I feel at ease.
しかし、なんで今更なんだ？こいつが甘いもん食ってるのは今日が初めてじゃないだろう。
Why mention this now? You've seen her enjoy sweets so many times before. That's a good point.
それが我にもわからなくての。何か特別なものでもあるのかとさっきもあの喫茶店に行ってきたのだ。
Bruise? Could be a bruise. I might have a bruise on my palm. I wondered that as well. I thought maybe there was something special about the cafe, so I went back and visited it again. So that's why he ran off. I was so happy when I realized he had gone all the way back to the cafe for me.
喫茶店ってあなたが子供の頃からお気に入りのところですか？
Cafe? The one she's been going to since she was a kid? Exactly. How did you know? I've been stalking you for 12
そ
years.
れはそうです。僕はあなたの
Obviously, because I'm your...
ストーカーだったのであろう。わかっておるのじゃ。まったく、我だってこれからは負けじとストーキングするのだ。
Stalker, right? You were gonna say stalker, yeah? I won't lose to you. I will stalk her harder than any stalker stalked before. Please don't.
あの喫茶店は特別な思い入れのある場所なんです。だからいつもより気が濃くなったんだと思うです。
That place holds a special place in her heart. That's probably why her aura changed. That's actually a pretty good point. We all used to go there as a family.
話してくれんか？そなたにとってあの喫茶店がどういう場所なのかを。
Will you share that memory with us? Can you tell us more about what that cafe means to you? Sure, I don't mind. I let out a little sigh and then opened up to everyone. I have memories of my whole family at this cafe. Back when my dad was still alive, sometimes just the two of us would go for a walk there. He'd let me order whatever I wanted for
お父さ
dessert.
んはいつものパフェにするけど、お前は何がいいかな？
The usual parfait for me. What about you, Leah? I'll take some of yours, so I'll get juice.
またほとんど食べられちゃうな。
You're gonna eat most of it again, aren't you? I love when Dad fed me as I sat next to him, so I always use that
でも
excuse.
お前の幸せそうに食べる顔が見られれば、それでお腹いっぱいになるからいいか。
As long as I see your happy little face, Leah, that's all I need. My time with my dad was short, which made this place all the more special. I guess it was the same with that parfait too. After Dad was hospitalized, Mom often took us to that cafe after we visited him in the hospital. Even as a kid, I sensed Dad's health was slowly fading. On our way home, I'd often become sad and withdrawn. Whenever my mom saw my sister and I like that, she'd always say, "Let's go eat something sweet," and take us to the cafe.
あなたはここのパフェが大好きね。毎回それなんだから。
You sure do love the parfaits here, don't you, Leah? You always get the same thing. It makes me happy. I feel like Dad's here with me. That parfait made me feel close to him. Maybe that's why it became special to me.
それじゃあ、お母さんもそうしようかしら。
Maybe I should do the same
私
then.
も
Me too, me too. After Dad was hospitalized, Mom always seemed sad, so did my sister. The only time we all smiled was at that cafe. The little happiness we found there meant everything to me, so take the part-time job. After I shared my story, Yukimaro took my
その
hand.
ような場所に案内してくれて心から嬉しく思う。
Thank you for bringing me to such a special place. It means a lot to me. I just wanted to see you smile too, Yukimaro.
僕も行きたかった。
I wish I could have gone too. Let's all go together next time. You'll come too, right, Koharu?
ああ、楽しみにしている。
Sure, I'd like that.
楽しみだな。
Great, I'm looking forward to it. We haven't even gone to that cafe yet, and already they're all smiles.
お、 そうじゃ。あそこで働いてみるのはどうだ？
Why don't you consider working there? Is like a part-time job?
そうじゃ。興味が湧いてくるやもしれん。
It might spark your interest. You say that, but I couldn't really picture what I'd be interested in. I haven't made anything sweet since I baked cookies for Sayaka in junior high. And I never worked part-time before.
わからぬから働いてみるのだ。何事も挑戦してこそなのだぞ。
Since you're unsure, why not just try it out? Life's all about taking new challenges. His encouraging words nudged me forward. Nudged me. The idea of working part-time was daunting, but that was no reason not to try. And besides, there was that one time I visited the cafe alone and the owner suggested the same thing to me. I was there, I remember.
君が
I couldn't imagine working back then, so it turned him down, but now, the owner of the cafe once asked me if I'd like to work there part-time.
おお、ちょうどいいではないか。
That's perfect then!
そうだな。可能性があるなら飛び込んでみるのも悪くないだろう。
Exactly, if the chance is there, it's not a bad idea to
です
dive
で
it.
す。それに
Dive in.
誘われていたなら合格間違いなしです。
Yeah, plus if he already invited you, you're pretty much a guaranteed hire. I'll talk to my mom about it then. It's school policy to get guardian's approval before starting part-time work. Koharu, Toka, and Yukimaro smiled when I shared my decision with them. Their support bolstered my confidence.
善は急げ。思い立ったが吉日じゃ。
Best to
母
strike
上
while
は
the
この
iron's
時間
hot.
ならまだ起きているのではないか。
Your mother's probably still up. You're right, I'll go speak with her now. Leaving them in my room, I made my way to the living room. When I reached the living room, I saw Mom sitting on the sofa, deeply engrossed and watching whatever was on TV. Maybe it's another Korean drama. Watching Korean dramas was one of my mom's hobbies. Same. With her late nights and early mornings, it was rare for her to be able to catch shows live. She recorded them, then binge watched them whenever she found some spare time. I knew how much she looked forward to these moments. This is her time to relax. I hate to disturb her. Still, Yukimaro's advised me to seize the moment, so I was eager to discuss it immediately. If she's this into her drama, she might have the day off tomorrow or a late shift. Maybe I should just talk to her tomorrow.
うんちょっと来て
Yeah, wait. She noticed me before I could leave and motioned for me to sit next to her on the couch. What is it?
これこれ
Come here. I walked up to her and she giggled. She picked up the plate on the table with a delicious-looking piece of chocolate cake on top.
今日職場でいただいたのよ一つしかないからこっそり食べようかなって思っていたのだけれど
Someone from work gave this to me. I was going to have it myself,
甘いも
but
のに目がないあなたに見つかってしまっては半分こにするしかないわね
seeing as you caught me, I guess that means we have to split it. I know how much you love sweets. Though she feigned disappointment, she seemed happy to have someone to share the cake with. You're the one who called me over, Mom. But it's true. I did catch you. I'd love to split it with you. I'm happy as I was at the surprise piece of cake. I was even happier that she had invited me over to sit with her. I quickly grabbed a plate and a fork from the kitchen and sat beside her. She then carefully divided the cake, giving me the slightly larger piece. As she did so, she gave me a knowing smile.
一人でこっそり食べるよりもこうして誰かと分け合って食べる方がずっと美味しいでしょ
The sweetest things in life are better shared. It's also better than trying to sneak a bite here and there. I
そ
agree.
うだあなたも見るまだ始まったばかりのドラマだから今から見てもわかると思う
Want to watch this drama with me? It just started. Maybe I'll watch it in a little bit. I enjoyed dramas too, but more importantly, I wanted to spend time with my mom. Lately, the tension between us was high, and having the opportunity to spend time together warmed
あ
my
な
heart.
た昔から甘いものが大好きよね
You've always loved sweets, even as a child. She probably thinks I'm just happy because of the cake.
ほらあの近所の喫茶店あそこに行くときなんて飛び上がるほど喜んで決まってパフェを頼むのよね
Remember that cafe we used to go to nearby? Every time we went there, you'd always get excited. You always ordered the same parfait. Yeah, the parfaits are the best. Her mention the cafe was perfect. Seeing an opportunity, I set my plate down on the table and turned to face her. Actually, I want to talk to you about that. I get this might sound kind of naive, but you know how much I love desserts and sweet things. I thought, I don't know, maybe I could do something related to that. She looked surprised, but set her plate down to give me her full
そ
attention.
れは盲点だったわ。確かにあなたの好きなものってそうよね。
It's an
それ
interesting
なら
thought.
パティシエ方面ということかしら。
It's definitely something you're passionate about. So you mean something like a pastry chef? I was bracing for her to dismiss the idea. However, hearing her consider it, or at least take it seriously, meant the world to me. This is so different from the career in medicine she envisioned for me. And like Koharu, she suggested the idea of me becoming a pastry chef. I haven't really thought that far ahead yet. I haven't made up my mind, but I want to explore what interests me. I thought about starting a part-time job at that cafe. You might be upset about me getting a job now, but
そんなことないわ。
of course not. My mom swiftly interrupted me, her tone firm. Her gaze was kind but direct, leaving me
何
speechless.
かをやるのに時期なんて関係ないのよ。例えば1年後に進路が定まっていなくてもいいの。
The timing doesn't matter when starting something new. You don't have to decide on a career even a year from now.
自分の道を見定める時間に期限なんてないとそう思うから。
You should take all the time you need to find your own path. She spoke as though she was fully at peace. Her support wasn't out of guilt or resignation. It seemed as though she genuinely wanted me to find my own way. Because of what she went through in the past, my heart felt unbelievably full and I wanted to
や
cry.
ってみなさい。あなたの好きなように自由にね。
Try it out. Follow your heart. Be free. She then reached out, gently stroking my hair. Thank you. Her touch brought tears to my eyes. Emotions I tried to bottle up were coming
ちょ
out.
っと泣かないで。お母さんももらい泣きしちゃうじゃない。
Hey, no tears. You'll make me start crying too. Mom chuckled and her eyes started to glisten with
お
tears.
礼を言うのはお母さんの方よ。
I should be the one thanking you.
私の間違った導きがあったというのに曲がらずまっすぐに育ってくれて。
Thank you for
本当にあり
growing
がとう。
into this type of woman who won't let lose her way even though I was trying to lead you down the wrong
皆さん
path.
お疲れ様でした。
Hydrate. We're getting low. I forgot to refill this today. If anything, it was the way my mom raised me. Despite all the changes, I am who I am because of her. There was so much I wanted to tell her, but I found myself unable to do so. Seeing me on the verge of tears again, she cheerfully shifted the mood.
ほら食べてしまいましょう。それとテレビ。
Come on, let's heat up, shall we? We have this drama to watch. Definitely. After wiping my tears, I looked down at the piece of cake and noticed something odd. Why does it look like there's a bite missing?
Baby,
This is delicious. I thought there was a monster. Just as I thought, Yukimaro appeared, smiling with a bite of chocolate on his lips. I was about to shout at him, but managed to stop myself.
どうしたの？ケーキに何か入っていた？
Is there something wrong with the cake? No, nothing. My sudden stop made Mom look puzzled, but she quickly brushed it off and returned to her cake. I hadn't noticed that Yukimaro had taken a seat next to me and had happily munched away at my cake. What is this? I'm sandwiched between Mom and Yukimaro. Because I was in front of my mom, I knew I couldn't confront Yukimaro directly. I glared at him silently, mouthing, "What are you doing?"
我もそなたと同じく甘いものが大好物でな。母上のご評判に預かった次第。
I love sweets just as much as you, Leah. I decided to partake in your mother's offers. Seriously? Mom offered half of her cake to me, not you, Yukimaro. I shouted the words internally, but Yukimaro paid no mind. I growled under my breath as my mom took another bite of her cake.
あら、このケーキすごく美味しいわ。
Gonna lurk, not feeling well today. Oh no! Are you gonna play Dragon Age? I'm sorry. The cake is so delicious. What do you think, Leah? Definitely, it's great. I haven't even had a bite yet. Seeing as there was an obvious bite out of the cake, I couldn't claim I hadn't tried it.
なかなかに便利である。あのパフェには負けるがな。どれもう一口。
I would stomp on his foot so hard right now. It's very scrumptious, although I think the parfait was better. Let me try another bite. I saw his hand reaching over again towards my fork and I slapped it away.
なら、もしかして虫でもいた？
Was there a bug? Yes, it was huge. Mom asked, noticing me swatting the air. Yes, a very big bug.
やだわ。帰ってきて換気で窓を開けた時に入ってきたのかしら。
Oh dear, I did open the window to air out the room when I got home. Maybe it got in then. Mom looked around worriedly while Yukimaro seemed shocked.
虫我を虫というなんてひどすぎるのである。
You're calling me a bug? That's too cruel. No, a bug would have taken a smaller bite of my
ね
cake.
え、まだ飛んでる？
Is it still flying around? No worries, I took care of it. Let's get back to our cake and drama. I smiled and finally took a bite of my cake. You're right, this is delicious. Yukimaro looked upset at me, but I shrugged him off. I have to be vigilant around him. Yukimaro was right, though. As delicious as it was, the cake couldn't beat the cafe parfait. Still, it's tasty enough to bring a smile to my face.
まあよいか。そなたの笑顔で腹がいっぱいだからの。
Oh well, seeing you smile is satisfying enough for me. Yukimaro's smile warmed my heart as my mom continued to talk about the drama. I listened happily. I enjoyed the moments with her. Don't eat my food. I'll end you. The following day was the first time my mother had the day off in a while, and so the three of us had breakfast together.
そうそう。翼にはアルバイトのことを話したの？
Did you tell Tsubasa about your part-time job? Mom question caught me off guard just as I was about to enjoy a bite of egg. I paused and set my chopsticks down. I haven't, but haven't had the chance yet. I've only just thought of it yesterday.
なになに？アルバイトって何の話だよ？
What's this? A part-time job? Tell me more. Tsubasa leaned in excitedly, her curiosity obviously piqued. It's at the cafe we've been visiting together since we were little kids.
ああ、あんたがよくパフェを絶賛してるあのお店か。
Oh, the one with the parfaits that you're raving about all the time, right, Leah? That's the one. I love confectionery, so I decided to start exploring careers with things that really interest me.
ああ、なるほどね。だからあの喫茶店でバイトってことか。
I got it. Guess that makes sense why you choose a job at the
確
cafe.
かに、あんた甘いもの大好きだよね。自分の好きなことって意味では、なかなかいい選択じゃない？
You really do love sweets. Pursuing something you love sounds like a great place to start. I'm still figuring things out, but they say to strike while the iron is hot, so I'm planning to visit there after school.
行動力あるじゃん。いいね。応援する。
Good to see you taking action. I fully support it. Tsubasa looked genuinely happy for me and gave me a supportive slap on the back.
よかった。あんたが自分で見つけた自分だけの道を歩き始めたみたいで。
I'm so happy you're finding your own path, Leah. Thank you. I was giggling and feeling bashful when the doorbell suddenly rang.
あら、こんな朝早くから誰かしら？
Who could that be this early? With a puzzled look, my mom went to the door and I instantly felt a knot in my stomach. This early, it's gotta be. Sure enough, Yukimaro entered the living room wearing his immortal clothes and a bright smile. Why is he here now?
パティシエの方面で考えると相談をもらっての。
I must tell you, Leah came to me seeking advice on becoming a pastry chef. He then placed a stack of pamphlets on the table. Curious, I picked up the top one and found it was a vocational school specializing in training pastry chefs. He gathered all of these last night.
まあ、こんなに調べてくださったのね。ゆき
Oh
まろさん、
my, you
ありが
did
とうございます。
so much research. Thank you, Yukimaro.
おお、すごいですね。妹のためにありがとうございます。
This is incredible. Thank you so much for supporting my sister like this. My mom and Tsubasa were impressed, examining each of the pamphlets with interest.
これくらいなんてことないのである。
It's no trouble at all. Yukimaro beamed, clearly proud to have made a favorable impression on my mom and sister. I couldn't contain my surprise at the sheer number of materials he had gathered. Thinking back on it, he got up and left the room just after the incident with the cake. And here I thought he left because I wouldn't share any more cake with him. I had no idea he was up to something like this. Gathering so much information in one night must have been very difficult. Yukimoto always one step ahead of me. But why did he choose to come by now? He could have waited to give me these to me when we were alone.
あいつ、朝っぱらから何やってやがる。
Why the hell did he bring these over so early? Koharu's here too. Koharu shook his head in disbelief. Yukimaro glanced at us with a warm smile, then turned his attention back to Koharu.
彼女のことはこの我にお任せしてほしいのだ。
I would like you to entrust Leah to me. Why did it sound like he was challenging someone?
あ？なんだあいつ。俺になんかあるのか？
What's with this guy? You got a problem with me? I recalled Yukimaro leaving the house in tears. Don't tell me that he's doing all this because my mom and sister were gushing over Koharu earlier. I stared at Yukimaro, who was beaming with pride before he strolled over and whispered in my ear.
そうじゃ。我の方が頼りになる男であろう。
After all, I'm more reliable, don't you agree? His smug expression made me burst out laughing. Sure, whatever you say. It's impossible to stay mad at Yukimaro. He's just too adorable.
たく。勘弁してくれよな。
Seriously, give me a break. My laughter continued as Koharu sighed and walked away.
よかったら雪丸さんも朝食を食べていってください。あまり凝ったものはありませんけど。
Yukimaro, please, won't you join us for breakfast? It's not much, but you're welcome to help
そ
yourself.
れは嬉しいの。遠慮なくご商売に預かるとしよう。
That's very kind of you. Yes, I'd love to take you up on that offer. He sat beside me and gladly accepted the large bowl of rice my mother offered him.
家族団らんの時間にかたじけないの。
My sincerest apologies for intruding on family time.
いえいえ、人数が多い方が楽しいですから。
Not at all. We're glad to have
そ
you.
れにしても、雪丸さんって不思議な言い方をしますよね。古風というのかしら。
You certainly have a unique way of speaking, Yukimaro. It's a bit old-fashioned, isn't it? It's true, Yukimaro did tend to speak in a more old-fashioned terms, especially compared to Koharu. I guess Toka spoke that way too sometimes, but I remember that Koharu called Yukimaro a former god. Maybe Yukimaro's old-fashioned speech comes from the fact that he's a god? One of these days, I'll really like to ask him about that.
あ、そうだ。ディスプレイいつ見に来てくれる？
That's right! You're coming to just check out my display, right? I'll visit after school tomorrow since the part-time job isn't settled yet. Seeing as I might be busy with a job, I should probably go sooner rather than later. I'm excited to see her work. She's put so much effort into it.
姉上はどのようなお仕事をしているのだ？
What exactly is your job, milady? Oh, I guess I never told Yukimaro about
若
it.
い女性向けのアパレルショップで働いていて。
I work at a fashion store for young
ふ
women.
むふむ。
I see. Yukimaro seemed genuinely interested in Tsubasa, explained the ins and outs of her job. I watched as my mom smiled and got to make a pot of tea. This feels so surreal. Yukimaro is here chatting with my family over breakfast as if it's the most natural thing in the world. This is so comforting. I was filled with happiness as I watched him fit in seamlessly into these moments with my family. Seamlessly, so smooth. After finishing breakfast, I went out with Yukimaro.
学校までお供するぞ。せっかく人の姿になっていることだし、良い機会だからの。
I'll escort you to school. I'm in human form anyways. Might as well take this opportunity and make the most of it. That's really sweet of you. Thank you. Grateful for his offer, I agreed. Together we strolled along the path to school. The weather was perfect, and feeling the newfound support of my family put a smile on my face. Yet Yukimaro seemed to be acting somewhat awkwardly. What's gotten into him? Curious, I noticed him extending his large hand out towards
せっ
me.
かくだし、手を。
Leah, may I hold your hand? I froze for a moment, then flustered. No, we can't. Someone might see us. I shot down his suggestion, and Yukimaro's face fell with disappointment.
このような機会はもうあまりないのに。
We won't have many more moments such as this. I instantly knew what he meant. His words hit hard. Seeing me like this, Yukimaro cocked his head.
なんじゃ？忘れているのか？そなたを幸せにしたら。
Have you forgotten? Once you're truly happy, I'll have to leave. I'm like a fairy godparent. But only for like that one moment of bliss. I know. I didn't forget. Hearing him say it out loud though, I guess our time together really is coming to an end. A whirlwind of emotions hit me. I felt lonely, sad,
そな
upset.
たはもう立派に己の道を歩もうとしておる。
You're already well on your way to finding your path, Leah. I'm truly happy for you. Stop that. I blurted out the words. I quickly realized how loud I'd shouted at him. I glanced at Yukimaro, who was blinking at me in shock. As I struggled for words, Yukimaro's expression softened and he gave me a knowing
そなた
smile.
の気持ちはわかる。
I understand, no
だから
need to say more.
我もいろいろ考えたのだ。そなたとこの先も一緒にいるにはどうすればよいのか。
I've thought a lot about how to continue to stay in your life,
だ
Leah.
が、ないのだ。人とあやかしが共に同じ時を過ごせる方法はな。
However, there's simply no way. There is no such way for spirits and mortals to be together. His tone was gentle yet firm, highlighting just how set in stone our future was. Yukimaro wants to stay with me. A mix of joy and sorrow hit me, knowing we were destined. Oh gosh. Knowing we both desired something impossible. I must look upset right now.
だから今、こうしていられる時を大事にしようと思う。
That's why I want to make the most of the time we have together. He took my hand, holding them firmly.
どんな瞬間でもそばにいよう。そなたの瞳に我が映っていられるまで。
I'll be with you, come what may, until my reflection fades from your eyes. He's right. We should cherish the time we have left. I nodded and Yukimaro smiled, easing my troubled heart. If we have to part, I want him to remember me happily smiling. And if the ever optimistic Yukimaro said that there was no way for us to be together, then it must be true. It seemed like our best option was to enjoy every moment we had together until the very last second. As we looked into each other's eyes, a sound nearby caught our attention. I turned towards the noise and saw Sayaka. Her bag had hit the ground and she looked utterly
ま
shocked.
さかゆきまるさんとそういう関係だったなんて。
Leah, I had no idea you and Yukimaro were, Oh, We'd been gazing into each other's eyes and holding hands. It was only natural for Sayaka to assume we were a couple. I scrambled to think of an explanation.
さやか殿、おはよう。
Good morning, Sayaka! Yukimaro greeted her with his usual bright
おはよ
smile.
うございますってそうじゃない。二人はいつの間に恋人同士に。
Good morning, but wait, that's not the point. When did you two start dating? Dating? No, we're not. I quickly denied it and Yukimaro looked taken aback, his hand desperately clutching mine.
違うのか？
We're not? Leah? Yukimaro looked like a scolded puppy, sad and confused. No, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, yes, I care about Yukimaro, and I know he cares about me, but it's complicated.
どっちなの？
Which is it?
どっちなのじゃ？
Yeah, which is it? Caught off guard by Sayaka and Yukimaro's interrogation, I hesitated. How do I explain this? We're not dating yet. I've only just realized how I feel. Okay. I've only just realized how I feel. I'm not sure.
なんだ意識してるならそれって好きってことじゃない。
So let me get this straight. You like him, right? Well, as I stood next to Yukimaro, I felt like I couldn't be completely honest about it. Blushing, I searched for the right words and heard Yukimaro's voice press for answers too.
そうじゃそうじゃ。そういうことじゃ。
That means you like me, right?
ゆきまるさんはどうなんですか？
How do you feel, Yukimaro? Sayaka realized I was being evasive and turned to Yukimaro.
我は決まっておる。好きでたまらないのだ。
It's too obvious. I adore her, Yukimaro announced with pride.
それじゃもう恋人同士ですね。
And you're basically a couple.
そういうことじゃな。
Yes, I would have to agree. Yukimaro agreed with a confident nod, and Sayaka let out a little squeal of joy and clapped. You guys, don't gang up on me like this. My initial happiness at Yukimaro's words faded, replaced by exhaustion at their antics. Yukimaro and Sayaka continued to giggle all the way to school. Man, three's company, am I right? Ray, I hope you feel better. Yeah, Ray, if you're lurking and you can hear us, feel better, please. Jay said so. Being alone with Leah is wonderful, but walking to school with her friend is nice too.
それにしてもいいなあ。ゆきまるさんみたいな大人の恋人がいたらいろいろ相談できて 力になってくれそう。
Thanks, at least this route is wholesome. It's really cute. I like it. I like it so far. I'm waiting for the drop. Jay. That's really cool though. I feel like if I had an older boyfriend like Yukimaro, I could talk to him about a lot of things. Sayaka is truly wise. Can we stop with the boyfriend talk? Leah still won't accept it. Does the idea of being my girlfriend bother you? It's not that. It's just... What's this? It's... So you're telling me there's a chance, Leah? I hope full warmth blossomed in my heart. I just think we should talk about it first. So verbal declaration is in order. It seemed like this wasn't a proper place. One must consider atmosphere. Got it. What do you mean? Leah looked puzzled, but I'll keep it quiet for now. It'll be far more fun to surprise her. Yes, I'll make a declaration she'll never forget. It's a secret for now. Huh? Wait. But wait. Alright, study hard, you two.
今度会うときはぜひ二人の馴れ初めを。
Next time you're telling me everything about how this romance started. Got it? Sayaka, let's go. Leah hurriedly pulled Sayaka away. I watched the two of them leave and smiled. Before entering the building, Leah glanced back at me. She checked her surroundings and then waved stealthily at me. Look how adorable she is. I can see the flush on her cheeks from here. So very endearing. How many more times can I see her, I wonder? How do you like it, the route? I like it so far. It's fine. It's actually interesting because I was thinking about the games I was playing, and for a second, because this route is so different from the School Ghost Stories route, my brain turned them into two different games for just a second in my head. I was like, I'm playing that one where they're, wait a sec, it's the same game. This is a much more friendlier vibe, despite everything. Making my master happy is my purpose, and yet that means you'll have to say farewell. Perhaps the ache in my heart showed just how immature I really am. The time left with Leah is short. There's not a moment to waste. To be with Leah forever, that is merely a fairy tale. Perhaps I'll pick her up after school. That sounds like an excellent plan. Perhaps that will bring her to a little joy. Who's gonna rain on their parade? It's like Nori. He really has like a Nori vibe. It's the same voice actor, so it might make sense that they'd give him a similar role. He's just kind of carefree. It has cooking, except Nori's not the cook in this one. After school, Sayaka had teased me all day and I was feeling exhausted. I should hurry to the cafe. He has Nori's exact voice. Yeah. It's interesting, Ken's range, because like Shelby's so different. When the last bell rang, I dashed out of school. Leah! Yukimaro, what are you doing here? You're headed to the cafe, right? Mind if I come with you? Is he also gonna get a job at the cafe? That's fine, but I'm going there to ask for a job. We won't be getting any parfaits. Of course I care more about you than I do about parfaits. I miss the Kanas voice. It's also crazy that Kanas' voice actor is Pastelia. That's still crazy to me. Because when they had Eon talk, I was like, that sounds like Kanas. And then it's like, nah, he's Pastelia. He's that one. He's that cutesy patootie over there. Of course, I care more about you than I care about parfaits. Wow, his words made my heart race, yet I wasn't swayed by them because, excuse me, who's the one who stole a piece of my cake last night even though I was having a serious talk with my mom? That was different. Anyways, to the cafe. that deep voice. Apparently, Cafe Enchanté is celebrating their 5th year, and they're coming out with like some little collectibles, like they're doing like a pop-up shop thing. It looked cute. They were all dressed as cafe workers on the art I saw. Canis is also Minato. That's right! He sounds more like Canis when he's Minato. Not exactly, but close. Eager to avoid the topic, are we? I want them to give me a cutesy character and have them have like the deepest, most Felix sounding voice there is. I want woo woo, but like not at all. I wonder if it's appropriate to have someone tag along when asking for a job. As long as he doesn't get in the way. Still feeling somewhat anxious, the two of us made our way to the cafe. Though I often visited this cafe, coming here to ask for a job made the whole thing feel different.
石木さん、お待たせ。僕に用事があるってスタッフから聞いたけど。
Younger love interest with a daddy voice. Yes, yes, yes. I thought you spelled Eel's name wrong, and I was really confused for just a second. I was like, younger Eel with a daddy voice? Why would his voice get like higher pitched as he got older? Like imagine if Toka in this game had a deep voice. Like wouldn't that be like, instead of this like ah voice, like his voice matches his character just fine. But like I want a voice that you go, wait a second. Hold up. Mr. Ishiki, thanks for waiting. I heard you wanted to have a word with me. The owner greeted us with his usual warm smile. I'm sorry for dropping in unannounced. When I told him I was looking for a part-time job, but that I already got my mom's permission, his face lit up. Oh, we could really use your help.
うちはそんなに時給が高い方とは言えないんだけど、それでもいいかな。
However, I must admit our hourly pay may be a little lower than the larger chain restaurants. Would that be alright? This cafe is where I want to work. Also, this is my first job, so I'm a bit unsure of myself. But this place means a lot to me, and I'd love the opportunity to be part of the team here.
そうかそうか。それは嬉しいな。今月はシフトが出てしまっているから、来月からになるけどいいかな。
I see. That's wonderful to hear. I'm already set this month's schedule, so how about starting next month? Is that okay? Absolutely. Oh, they write a schedule by a month? Tell me more. Absolutely, that sounds great. I'm really looking forward to it. As I reveled in the moment, the owner's gaze shifted past me.
この人は
May I ask who this gentleman is?
お我の紹介がまだであった。
I'm
彼は彼女の恋人。
sorry for not introducing myself sooner. I am Leah's love. He's my friend. Yukimaro seemed a bit sulky with that answer, but he kept his
初めて
composure.
のアルバイトだから心配ですよね。何かあればいつでも彼女の様子を見に来てくださって大丈夫ですよ。
That makes sense. She must have been nervous about interviewing for her first job, huh? If you want to check on her, drop by anytime. The cafe owner seemed to accept my explanation, and he smiled at Yukimaro.
お言葉に甘えて見守らせていただこう。頻繁に様子を見に来るだろうからな。
Thank you. I might do just that. Checking on her might become a habit. Even after we part ways? The thought popped into my mind and put a damper on my mood.
じゃあ雇用契約ってほどじゃないけど、いつから働くかとか、お給料のこととか決めちゃおっか。
Well then, I'll have to draft up a contract eventually, but for now, how about we talk about your hours and pay? Actually, I need to submit work approval form for my school. Would you mind filling this out?
うん、もちろんだよ。
Of course. He guided us to a table to begin paperwork. As he looked at Yukimaro, something seemed to click and he smiled.
どこかで見たことがあるなって思っていたんだけど、こないだ二人でうちに来ていませんでしたか？
I knew I recognized you. Were you the one that came with her to our cafe? I was at a loss for words. Did he notice Yukimaro's enthusiastic reaction to the parfait last time?
それは大変美味なるパフェをちそうになった。
Indeed, that parfait was exceptionally delightful, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hello, good morning, silly. Yukimaro beamed with satisfaction, eliciting a laughter from the owner.
褒めてもらえて嬉しいです。それじゃあ、アルバイトが決まった記念に、今日はサービスで2人に出しますよ。
I'm happy you like it. Now that you agreed to come on board, how about we celebrate 2 parfaits on me? What? Oh no, we really shouldn't. He tried to decline politely, but Yukimaro nearly leapt from his chair.
それはまことか。
Seriously?
ええ、もちろんですよ。
Yes, of course. Yukimaro! I attempted to scold him, but the owner quickly went to the kitchen. I felt guilty about this. Is it really okay? Is it okay to get free food?
こういう人の行為には素直に甘えてよいのじゃ。
In situations like this, it's best to accept the kindness of others, Leah.
あのオーナーとやらは人に美味しいものを食べてもらうのが喜びじゃからの。
Making sure I don't have any weird messages. None. Palm's on. We can harass Palm. It seems the owner finds joy in serving people delicious food. Yukimaro casually sipped his water, showing no doubts in his eyes. He must have sensed the owner's aura. After a short wait, the owner returned with a tray holding 2
ちょうど
parfaits.
試作品を考えてたところだったんだ。食べた後に感想を聞かせてもらえると嬉しいよ。
I was experimenting with a new recipe. I'd love to get your feedback after you try it. A new recipe. I was overjoyed, then suddenly felt embarrassed at my animated outburst.
喜んでくれているみたいでよかったよ。
I'm glad to see you're excited about it. I'm sorry, it's just your parfaits. They've always so
そう
delicious.
いう君だからこそアルバイトに誘ったんだ。君はいつも笑顔で食べてくれるからね。
So I wanted you to join the team. You always have a big smile when you eat here.
うちの味を美味しいと思ってくれているからこそ、お客様にもメニューの説明をできる。そう思ったんだ。
You'll be a natural when it comes to recommending items on the menu for our customer. I never realized you saw me
そ
that
うい
way.
えば、君のお父さんもそうだったな。いつも帰るときにこう言ってくれたんだ。
Your father was the same, always leaving with a smile. He always made a point to thank me after coming
美
here.
味しいものを食べさせてくれてありがとうって笑顔をくれてね。今でも心に残っているよ。
Thank you for such delicious food. He'd say it with a big smile. I remember it. It stayed in my heart even after all this time. Even now?
お客様の笑顔を感じることはあるけど、言葉をかけてくれる人はなかなかいないからね。
It's common to see a customer smile, but rare for them to thank me directly. Express gratitude, he's right. I glanced at Yukimaro. I realized there were feelings I hadn't yet put into words for him. I wonder if I will say these things to him. If I say these things to him, will my words stay in his heart?
どうしたのだ？
Something on your mind? It's nothing. Turning back to the owner, I decided to ask him something I had been curious about. Would it be possible for me to observe in the kitchen? I'm interested in seeing how everything is prepared. I would do it when I'm not working, of course.
見学だけなら全然いいよ。でも、どうしてだい？
I'd be fine, but may I ask why? I'm curious about the preparation of ingredients. That's part of why I wanted to work here. I was candid with the owner, who responded with a
そういうことなら
supportive
力
nod.
にならないとだね。
In that case, I hope I can be of help. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you're so nice. I was thrilled that he agreed. He could have told me no, and that his methods were secrets, but the fact that he didn't made me very happy.
よかったの。
That's so awesome. Yes, it really is.
と、アイスが入っているから早くパフェを食べた方がいいよ。食べ終わる頃に説明をしに来るね。
Oh, there's ice cream in those parfaits. You better get started. I'll drop by and give you a few more details when you're finished. Thank you. On our way home from the cafe, I wish I could spend a bit more time alone with Yukimaro. How about we take a walk before we head home?
いい提案じゃな。乗った。
Sounds like a great idea. I'm glad, let's go. I was overjoyed he agreed, but it only made me want to spend more time with him, making me feel a bit greedy. I want to hold his hand. After holding back so much earlier, I found myself being cautious. But if I don't hold his hand now, I might regret it. Hot tug on his sleeve. That sounds cute. I reflected on my history with Yukimaro and realized I had always been the one to let him make the first move. I can't always be waiting on him. I let out a long breath to calm myself. Yukimaro was walking next to me, so I reached out and took his hand in mine. I was so embarrassed. I couldn't even look at him.
幸せなのだ。
This makes me so happy. Encouraged by his words, I finally dared to look at him. He was beaming, his cheeks stained
そ
pink.
なたと一緒にいて幸せでなかったことはないかもしれん。時には悲しいこともあったが。
Being with you, I can't recall a time when I wasn't happy, though I guess there were sad moments.
この今の幸せのためだったと思えば、すべてが良き思い出なのじゃ。
But if those sad things led to joy, the joy I feel led to the joy I feel with you right now, then it was all worth it. Yukimaro gaze filled with such warmth and affection, it filled me with an overwhelming sense of happiness. I feel the same way. He would often say things as a guardian spirit. His role was to guide people to happiness, but I'm not sure if that's quite right. I don't think Yukimaro led me to happiness. He is my happiness. Aww. I feel like I can talk to him now. I decided to tell him what I realized back at the cafe. Yukimaro? I called out to him. Just seeing him turn around and look at me filled me with bittersweet joy. I knew these moments were fleeting. I think we only have a little time left, right, to be together like this? His eyes seemed to reflect melancholic hues, swirling as they stared back at me. I met his gaze and continued. This morning, I was too shy to say yes when you asked to hold my hand, and in front of Sayaka, I hid my true feelings. But I've decided to change that. I don't want to live with regret. I knew it was time to follow my heart. I needed to share my feelings with him. Otherwise, I might regret it forever. I can speak. I know how to say words, guys, I swear. I want to embrace every moment we have left. Will you do that with me? Yukimaro seemed to freeze and time stood still for a moment. A few seconds later, Leah. Hey, what are you doing? You can't hug me now. People are watching. No matter how much I knew I'd regret telling him no, I wasn't ready for him to hug me in public.
じゃあ釣れないの。まあでもいいのだ。
You're no fun, but it's okay. I don't mind. Yukimaro's grip on my hand tightened. It was as if he was saying he never wanted to let go, and I felt elated. I squeezed his hand. I wanted him to know I felt the same. We wandered without direction until we reached the beachfront park.
ここまで来ると潮風を感じていいの。
The ocean breeze feels nice here. Doesn't it? Hey, should we stop by the shrine?
それもいいな。
That sounds wonderful. What a weird change of pace. We entered the compound, but I couldn't. Have you got any CGs yet? I got one of him resting his chin on the top of her head. So that's going to be the one we use for the thumbnail because I have to stop my stream here in a little bit because I have an appointment. We wanted the compound, but I couldn't find the priest. The golden red colors of the sunset cast a warm glow on the grounds. I realized we were alone. Yukimaro laid down and stretched out his arms. You're like a little
そな
kid.
たも我のように。
You should be like me. In mid-sentence, I felt Yukimaro's hand jolt in mine. Yukimaro? I looked up, wondering what was wrong. To find his expression grave, he was
少し
frozen.
そばを離れても構わぬか。
Leah, do you mind if I step away for a bit? Sure, is something
今し
wrong?
がた座敷わらし協会から呼びかけがあってな。すぐに協会事務所まで来いということじゃ。
The Guardian Spirit Society just called me. They want me to report to the office immediately. Does that mean... As his hand started to slip away, a panic surged through me as I quickly grasped his hand. The joy I felt before suddenly vanished. It was as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over me. Cold nerves, sweat trickled down my back. Why now? I gasped when the realization hit me. I found my path. I have a new job I'm excited about. I'm happy. It was over.
大丈夫じゃ。必ず帰ってくる。
It'll be okay. I promise I'll return. Yukimaro tried to comfort me gently, stroking my head when...
すぐじゃ。夜にはまた会える。
Soon, I'll be back by tonight. He looked into my eyes, his resolve cleared. There wasn't even a hint of deceit in his eyes. Yukimaro would return. We would see each other soon, but what if this is goodbye?
気休めを言うつもりはないからはっきり言うが、覚悟だけはしておいてほしい。
I'm not gonna lie. I want you to prepare yourself for what I have to tell you. Yukimaro's voice was quiet and his expression calm, as if he had already accepted the fate he knew was coming. I knew I would have to accept it too, but I was unable to respond. I knew this was going to happen eventually. I needed to tell him I understood. I needed to tell him I was prepared. Didn't want to trouble him. Yukimaro released my hand without waiting for my response.
今からすることを許してほしい。
Nia, forgive me for what I'm about to do. With that, his face slowly approached mine and I knew what he was going to do next. My mind went blank. I couldn't think, but I knew I wanted him to do this. And so I closed my eyes. He's just gone. He just vanishes. Silently, our lips met. My heart pounded loudly in my ears. Feeling Yukimaro so close, all my embarrassment faded and was replaced with pure bliss. He was so close and it felt like our hearts were one. He brought me so much happiness, yet nothing like this. I love you. I hoped my lips would convey these words to him. Once our kiss ended, I'll tell him I don't want to live with regret. The moment our lips parted, I whispered softly, I love you. Yukimaro's reaction was a gentle smile without a hint of surprise.
と
You
言ってくれたな。
finally said it. What a jerk.
我も
Oh no. I dropped my phone.
我はそなたが大好きじゃ。
What are you doing wrong? Me too. I love you so much more.
それでは行ってくる。
I'll be on my way now. Yukimaro vanished instantly. A sharp pang echoed in my heart, just as he had appeared so suddenly to me at the very shrine. Moments ago, we were together, and if that was how things had always been, and like this, he was gone. Dun 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 dun. We're gonna have to stop here. I was gonna try and get to the end of this one, but I don't have time. Alright, well, we're gonna continue Yukimaro's route when I get time. I don't know if it's gonna be this week. I would love if it was. I'm gonna double check and see if it's only 8. 8 instead of 9 chapters as well. Because what? Should probably start locking them. That way I know which one I'm on. Let's see if there's anyone to raid before I head out. And I will be at Samurai Comics tonight, so we're gonna do the comic book announcements, and then depending on how things are, I'll be back. Let's see. So many people are on. We're gonna raid. So many of my friends are on. We're gonna raid Palm because I miss Palm so much. Tell her hi for me. I can't stay around. Alright guys, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this on YouTube, remember I stream about 3 times a week on Twitch. If you can check me out over there. If you're here today with me on Twitch, remember you can check out YouTube if you want to remember the super fun adventures we're having. Thank you Asia, thank you Blue, thank you Jay, thank you Ray, thank you Anne, thank you Silly, thank you guys all for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day.